Hey, what is going on, Fan Clan? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Phantom. I was hoping I would be able to record a video this weekend going over Chilling Reign, allocation numbers, things like that, what we're looking at as far as the print run goes for the set. Unfortunately, even though I was told I would get numbers by this weekend, that didn't happen. So I do not have those numbers yet. I do hope to have them within the next few days, and then I will be able to make a video kind of going over what I expect as far as that set goes. The card scans for Secret Rares all came out, and it looks absolutely incredible. All the alternate arts that are in there look amazing. There's so many different cards, so many Secret Rares. Very, very cool set. I did see some people get their allocation numbers already. Doesn't look great, but I'm going to keep my positive spirit flowing here and hope for the best. But we should have some cool videos coming up this week. I do have some Matchless Fighters card boxes coming in, booster boxes coming in from Japan, so I hope to open up one of those this week, and then along with Chilling Reign should be a good week as far as videos go. I did try and think of a couple different ideas of things that I wanted to talk about this week, but I ended up deciding that I was going to post more of a fun video today because I started reminiscing a little bit and thinking over all these different regional events that have gone on in the Pokemon trading card game in general from a competitive standpoint. And if you follow me on Instagram, I made a post last week. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you can find me at danny.phantom. But I made a post on Instagram going over one of the first pictures that I ever took at a regional event where somebody took a picture of me playing against a good friend of mine. His name is Dan Garman. We actually ended up forming Dead Draw Gaming together back in like 2016. That was what first got me into the Pokemon trading card game from a business standpoint altogether. But it really started tugging at the heartstrings over the past week or so, going over all these different memories that I've had, all these great friendships that I've made, the great relationships that I've built. And it started making me think about regional events in general and how we haven't had any now for a year. And there's really no guarantee about when they're going to come back. We do foresee them starting back up, but I don't know if it's going to be something that's going to come back sooner than later or later. We already had cancellations for Worlds last year in London. We got word not too long ago that Worlds is canceled again this year for the 2021 season or 2021 year. That's supposed to be coming up in August. That's going to get postponed again all the way to 2022. So there is not going to be any Worlds this year, which has me a little bit nervous about whether regional events are going to happen this year or not. I have seen some leagues starting up again, just casual leagues, things like that, but there's nothing as far as League Cups, League Challenges, or anything like that. But it started to get me thinking about when Pokemon does kind of let people get back into competitive play. And I wanted to know if you've ever been to a regional event or what it would take to get you to a regional event in the future. And I want to talk to you about it from both of a competitive player standpoint and also a business owner standpoint, because it's just such a great opportunity to go. There's about 13, 14, 15 of them that kind of happen on a yearly basis in North America, and then there are others that happen outside of North America, but it's just so much fun. And it was something that I was absolutely ridiculously nervous about before I went to it for the first time, because I didn't really have a whole lot of people in the area that I played competitively with. I remember going to my first ever regional event in Madison, Wisconsin, and it was 2015. And I was playing like a Mewtwo EX, Mega Manectric EX, Seismitoad EX deck that I threw together, and it just was terrible. And I didn't really know anything at the time about the meta, didn't know anything about competitive play or anything like that. And I started out like 3-0, which was really, really good. And then I ended up playing against my good friend Dan, who was running a Primal Groudon deck at the time. And if you see the picture that I posted on Instagram, I just have like looking at it like, wow, I'm just getting destroyed here, and Primal Groudon just takes care of Mega Manectric without any problem, since Lightning Electric is weak to fighting. But that was besides the point. I never would have met Dan if I wouldn't have went to that event. And a lot of people get really nervous when it comes to regional events because they're worried that they're going to be playing against people who are so much higher, have such a higher caliber, more experience, I guess maybe is the term, more experience when it comes to playing at competitive events. And while that is the case for some players, it's not the case for everybody. A lot of people who go to regional events are just going to have fun. They're not necessarily bringing the most competitive deck in the world. They're going to enjoy themselves, meet new people, meet friends and things like that. And you would be very, very surprised at the amount of people that come to these events that are all widespread throughout the age bracket. So I did pull up Limitless TCG here just to kind of go over what things have looked like in the past. So this is the 2018-2019 season. If you've never been to Limitless TCG, it's a very, very cool website that you can go check out. They do a fantastic job over there. The Limitless team kind of forming all these numbers together. They put together deck profiles, they put together competitive reports, they put together card analysis, they put together different lists and things like that that you can use to kind of build your own decks or tweak decks that have already been successful in the past. Anyways, this is the 2018-2019 season, and on the left side here, it just kind of shows the date as well as the event itself. So there was a regional in Madison, Wisconsin on the first day of June in 2019, where there were 585 players. Now, that is 585 senior or 585 masters that were in attendance. This was won by Ian Robb. So it's 585 people who are in the Masters division, not necessarily who are, they are at least 15 years of age or older, basically, if they're going to be Masters. But this is 585 Masters, and that was probably one of the middle-sized tournaments of the year. You go down here to like Collinsville, which happened in February 19th. Or February 23rd of 2019. There was over 1,000 Masters that were in attendance that day. But for the most part, really depending on what the format is, if it's an S here, that means it's a standard format tournament, which we just had rotation become announced that in September this year, it's going to be going to Sword and Shield on, which means that the only legal cards that will be allowed to be played in the standard format will be cards from the Sword and Shield block on, or expanded. There's an E here for expanded. Expanded format is any card that was printed black and white era on. So black and white all the way through the last Sword and Shield set can be used in the expanded division. Those expanded formats are a lot more difficult to kind of pick up, and sometimes that makes them a little bit less popular. As you can see here, those for the most part are in the 300 range to 400 range for attendance, except for this one in Dallas, Texas, which had 802 Masters in it. But those are a little bit less attended just because it's a lot more difficult for newer players to get into the expanded format because there's so many cards. There's such a huge pool of cards from black and white on. So this is more from a competitive standpoint. If it's something that you have ever been interested in before, these happen all over the United States. And you can go to Pokemon.com and you can get an idea of where tournaments are happening. They have an event locator on there, but it can give you an idea of where all these events are located throughout the entire season. It's a really good resource, really good thing to look at. You can also use that event locator just to try and find tournaments that are happening in your area when those start back up, whether they're league challenges or league cups or anything like that. The first event that I ever went to was just a standard league challenge. I didn't think I was going to know anybody there. I didn't think I was going to meet anybody there. And lo and behold, I ended up meeting a lot of people that were just my age hanging out and playing, and I totally didn't expect that at all. So I guarantee if you have any leagues in your area within 45 minutes or an hour, it's definitely worth the drive to go check it out and meet some people in your area. It definitely helps in the long run get better at playing the game and really kind of helps you grow into the game a little bit better. With that being said, from a competitive standpoint, these regional events are just so much fun. You get to go away for the entire weekend. Basically, you hang out. You get there on like Friday. You have 8 or 9 rounds that you're going to be playing on Saturday. Everybody gets to play the entire time on Saturday. And then Sunday, you have what's called the top cut, which is if you make the second day, you establish enough wins from day one. If you hit 18 points or more, you get 3 points for a win, 0 points for a loss, 1 point for a tie. If you hit 18 points or more on day one, you'll be able to qualify for that day two, and you basically play it out all the way until you get to one person standing, one winner for the entire tournament. And it's a lot of fun. You have vendors that are there the entire weekend who are selling things, whether it be cards or plushes or different accessories, and a lot of people that are out there just kind of hanging out playing Pokemon. And if you do poorly, or if you decide you want to drop and you're not having as much fun playing, there's always a lot of other stuff to do at the events. There's people opening packs, there's people trading all over the place. There's a lot of times different things that you can do, like sometimes whoever is running the tournament will bring in video games, so they'll bring in different side events that you can do where you can win booster boxes. There's just so much going on outside of that tournament. It's fantastic. And one time, our first ever event that I did that I vended was actually an entire con. It was called Ohana Con, and that was back in 2016. I think it was 2016 or 2017. I get the years confused. But basically, there was like 25 vendors there of all different walks from Pokemon. There was cosplay going on. There was the voice actor for Ash Ketchum was there. It was a lot of fun, and there were just so many different opportunities and so many people to meet and so many different things that you could do just from a fan standpoint or just a collector standpoint that it was definitely worthwhile. So I want to know basically in the comment section down below if you've ever been to a regional event before, what it was, where it was, what your memories are, or will you start going to them? Will you try and get to one once things start opening back up, assuming Pokemon can get to a point, the world can get to a point where we can all do this safely and responsibly? Does it look like something that you would enjoy doing, or what's stopping you from doing it? What's your biggest fear basically from it? From a business standpoint, if you're ever somebody who is looking at doing things, getting to know people in the community is just such a fantastic opportunity. Get to know your local tournament organizers across the U.S. Get to know all those bigger names, because those are people who are going to help you, give you the opportunity to vend events like this. It's a lot of fun. It does cost money to have a booth to go back and start selling cards and things like that, but there are only a select few people that get chosen to have their booths at these events. And it's totally worthwhile because of all the relationships that you get to build with all the competitive players, with all the casual players. But it also gives you the opportunity to buy cards, take inventory in, so that way you can turn around and bring it back to your storefront so you can sell it online or sell it in your storefront. It's a really, really cool opportunity to give you that exposure and things like that, and really help you meet people within the community. So I'm very, very excited for events to start back up. I've been missing them greatly lately, both from a competitive standpoint and getting the opportunity to play, because I definitely want to do that again, but also from a business standpoint and getting the opportunity to kind of sit there and be able to, market our products to the competitive community and to the collectors community, and just try and get these things to continue to grow, because it is so much fun to build those relationships. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think of regional tournaments, if you've ever been one before, or if you're somebody who just kind of sticks to local leagues, what's stopping you from going to a regional tournament. I know that these are a commitment. I know that they can be expensive. There's times where you're going to be playing $50, $60, $70 just for an entry into the tournament, and then you're looking at, flights or gas to drive to it, and then you're looking at hotel stays or Airbnb stays or whatever the case may be, and that does get expensive, but it's definitely worthwhile for a little getaway, at least in my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think. I just wanted to keep something fun, casual for this tonight's video, and just kind of see what you guys all thought, because I'm really, really stoked for these to start back up again. So if this is your first time here, please make sure to leave a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button down below. I really, really appreciate you guys. We're gonna have a few videos this week, so stay tuned, make sure you subscribe, and until next time, guys, peace.